necessary for teaching so that this reflective teacher centers the critical analysis of his or her own practice. Here we have seen another word which is a key word also in mentoring, reflective teacher. We have to reflect on what we do. I mean, this word is going to be repeated many times. As you can see, all the definitions and all the characteristics that we have given about mentoring and mentor are repeated because that's what we are aiming at, a reflective teacher, the outcome at the very end. And so, what is it needed then? Content knowledge. What's that? That the teacher knows his discipline. In this particular case, the teacher of English speaks English fluently, knows syntax, lexes, pronunciation, etc. You master your discipline. That's the first requirement. Then, general pedagogical knowledge that include general issues such as classroom management and discipline. This is something that we have to have some theory, because when you are very young and you get into a classroom for the first time, you have to know you have to have some sort of theory backing you, because otherwise it's difficult. Imagine you get into a class of teenagers. They are talking, looking through the window, etc. And you need somebody telling you what to do. I could speak about lots of experiences I had when I just started, and it was horrible. So I understand what that is. But all classes are different. We can't say do this and that. There are things that probably we could do, but we as teachers have to adapt them into our own classroom, because who knows our students? We, the ones who are in front of them, and nobody else knows them as well as we do. Another characteristic, curriculum knowledge. What does this refer to? It refers to the materials and course books used by the teacher. I think that you are very familiar with that. I'm not going to get into details here. Pedagogical content knowledge, which refers to the use of effective EFL methodology and to be updated in the methodology that we have to use with our classes. Because, as you all know, this has changed a lot. From the time that I was at school and now. Probably you are very young, so the changes are not, but anyhow they are. Let's be realistic. And now, what about this? Knowledge of learners and characteristics. This is related to the different learning styles and strategies of learning. Our students are not alike. They are completely different. And that's something that we have to bear in mind. That's why we have to know who our learners are. Knowledge of the educational contexts. It refers to the way learning and teaching are affected by the social, cultural, and institutional context. You know that students come from different families, they have different characteristics, schools are different, etc., etc. You know that very well. Knowledge of educational ends, purposes, and values, as well as philosophical and historical issues, as they are part of the context in which the mentoring relationship occurs. So this, I think, doesn't need any other sort of explanation. Now, let's see this, just as the teacher requires having both the knowledge and the skills for teaching, the mentor needs to possess the knowledge and the skills for mentoring. Yeah, because first of all, you have to be a qualified teacher with experience, and I'm going to say it again, with updated EFL methodology. But at the same time, you have to have other personal characteristics. First of all, interested in being a mentor. I mean, that's the first thing. If you are not interested in this, then end of the story. With stimulating ideas that, I mean, you can give to the context where you are. Interested in discussing others' ideas. That's a very important point, because if you're going to be a mentor, you're going to be all the time interacting with mentees, and not only with mentees, with the educational authorities from the schools which are involved in this process. With the skills to exchange. If, for example, you are the kind of person who are good at communicating, well, try to exchange that with your mentee. Supportive. You listen to your mentee, and at the same time, you are not going to say do this and do that, but you, with quotation marks, try to not give advice, that's not the right way to say it, but to support him. I mean, there is no a different way of saying this. Able to adapt to change. What's that? That, if nowadays, for example, that, talking about something very specific, the role of grammar nowadays, which has changed completely. We teach grammar in context, lexical grammar, etc. All these trends, and you have to be able to adapt to these kind of changes, not to get there in the past. Willing to give your time so that the relationship with the mentee can develop. Ready to share conversations and concerns with other mentors. We are always worried about things which are taking place, and maybe there is something that we can share that it is the usual thing in different schools. Well, let's share this with other mentors who are doing your job too in other places. And this is important, a coach rather than a counselor. A coach. You're not the sort of person, you're going to listen and make the mentee reflect, but not give solutions. This is not a recipe. It is not, ingredients and cook like this and like that. No, you just listen and then make the mentee reflect on his teaching. Open and inspiring trust and confidentiality. So that the mentee can see you as somebody that he can trust in. Whatever he says, nothing will happen. You are not the sort of person who is immediately going to talk to the principal at school and this, that, no. He knows that he can trust in you. Encouraging, helping mentees to value their own work and development. If the mentee decides to do something innovative in the classroom that maybe you've never thought about that, well, encourage him or her to do that. This is what we should do all the time. Focused in approach, sharing clear aims, goals, or objectives. That's very important. Objectives, aims. What do we have in mind? What do we want to do? And how are we going to get to that? And, in a way, the same thing I said before, able to inspire confidence. The mentee can trust in you. This is important. Deserving respect, but not demanding respect. You are not the person who gets there and you have to do it because this and that. If you don't do it, I'm going to evaluate you. And at the end, no. You are a coach. You are somebody who is supporting the mentee. What do we all want? We want to give the best to our students. We want to improve teaching and learning. We want our students to learn. And this is what we are going to do. And that's why the mentee is going to respect you because he or she thinks that you deserve it, not because you are the owner of the world.